Welcome. Guess who's back, man? It's been like a month. Thanks for coming back. I appreciate you guys. I was busy as heck. And I decided, I put a little post on my Facebook that I'm going to shoot for one episode a week, you know, and then Hydrus, I'm going to have to shut down because that's full bore. Now I'm back on propane. So I can slow down a bit. I can take a few hours. It takes me a while to prepare guests and videos and stuff. And I'm a one-man show. So if you want, go to my Facebook and vote, because I said pick a day. And I'm going to go 2 hours now. And I'm going to start tonight with my first guest, Steve G. He's the fucking man. I honestly, one of my favorite. He is my favorite. We see eye to eye on so many things, and especially the important ones like humanity. You know, there's stuff we don't agree on or see, you know, exactly the same, but that's fine because it's trivial shit. Where it really comes down to is like not getting divided by the political divide. You have to be in this game a long time. You know what pisses me off is when people like took over this fucking movement that didn't have a fucking clue, that COVID woke them up, you know, or even like 9/11. Man, people were awake to the bullshit long before 9/11. Okay, and you can tell these people. And the problem is they're not always out in the open. They're not always out in the front and trying to get all the sunshine and attention. And what you find is the real quiet ones are the ones that really know. And we got a special treat tonight because this guy, he's pretty quiet, man. He don't come on the show for fucking nobody, okay? And I seen him have some trouble in Ottawa because he's the only one who like understands the anti-war message. Like really, I feel, because the left joined that Palestinian movement just to make sure that, because a lot of people on the right, all they know is that they're not left. That's it. That's how they reference where the fuck they stand, you know? You got to get past the partisan politics, you guys, and you got to see past that and it just stand with fucking humanity, all right? And this brother does. I'm going to bring it right in. Steve fucking G, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, guys? What's up, everyone?
Oh, Kirk's in the chat. Thanks.
Can you hear me good?
I can hear you good, yeah.
Okay, cool. Can you
lighting
see me?
Night's terrible, right? I can't see you at all, though. I can see a little glimmer of your hat.
Yeah.
See, I put this light on just so you can see me, because otherwise I'll be like you too, man. And that ain't good. Look at this. And then we're just in the dark.
Yeah. Shoot.
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck. Whatever, man.
I guess I'll know for next time.
You can hold the lighter up. We can just.
There
you go. What's that? Whatever that works. Fuck, I want to sit in the dark. Maybe we should just do one in the dark. Hey, well, at least you see your face. We'll show them the face at the beginning, and then we'll give them fucking black.
Okay, cool.
I don't have my beard going on, so I feel like a fucking little baby here. Man, you got full growing. How long you been growing that beard, buddy?
Last time I was clean shaven was in 2014, so 10 years now. That yeah.
Well, you look like a fucking man, and I appreciate you. Like, I know I've told you this personally, and I've said it before, but you held the line, man. You stood there from when we hit convoy, and you haven't left. I've seen videos the other day of you during convoy. You were there, so I don't think you've taken very many days off. You work a full-time job, and then after work, you go put it in a double shift.
Yeah,
basically letting all those politicians know that the country is doesn't approve. You know, the middle finger says it all. And as far as I'm concerned, I appreciate it, man. And like I said, you're one of my favorite freedom fighters, man. I'm glad you're still out there, and you fucking represent, man.
Yeah, well, I've been awake for like 13 years now, and I'm a truth seeker, and it's all for peace, love, freedom, truth, justice, and laws. We gotta laugh through the bullshit, So,
Mm-hmm.
um, as you're going to see a comedy show, so again, it's gonna lift up your morals there, if you know. So,
Yeah, I like your music. Your choice of music's really good. I want to sit in the fucking dark. I'm gonna sit in the dark for a minute. We'll try this. I like your choice of music. I like how you try to inspire that message, because it is a propaganda war. And music is really good waking up the masses. I
yeah.
want to hit on Guy Fawkes, your mask that you like to wear, the anonymous mask. I'll ask you why after I do a little history lesson.
Guy Fawkes, biggest scapegoat in history? You decide. England, 1605. King James I is on the throne, and the country is in massive religious turmoil. Started off by this guy, the country's religion has been changing constantly for the last 100 years. It was Catholic, Protestant, Catholic, Protestant, Catholic, Protestants. Now with James on the throne, the country is Protestant and the Catholics are pissed. So pissed, in fact, that a Catholic man called Robert Catesby hatches up an evil plan to blow up the entirety of the Houses of Parliament while everyone was there for Parliament opening day. They then planned to kidnap 9-year-old Elizabeth, James I's daughter, and use her as their Catholic puppet queen. I know personally that if someone had just killed my dad, I wouldn't want to do them any favours. Robert Catesby gathers up the best rebels he knows: Thomas Percy, John Wright, and Thomas Winter. A late arrival to this party was a man we all know, Mr. Guy Fawkes. The group then had to decide who was going to do the terrible thing of blowing up all the king's horses and all the king's men, not get caught, and manage to escape with their life. I don't think there'll have been many takers. Guy Fawkes was the one who stepped up and said it would be an honour to do this. But, spoiler alert, it did not go to plan. On November the 4th, an anonymous letter was sent to Lord Monteagle, warning him not to go to the opening of Parliament the next day, and warned him of a terrible blow that he would receive. I assume he means the explosion. I don't know. The king was alerted, Robert Catesby's plan was doomed, and every cellar and attic was searched. And who did they find in the cellar with 34 barrels of gunpowder? None other than soon-to-be 6 feet under Mr. Guy Fawkes. That is not a good day, and it does not get any better for him. Part 2 will tell you everything that happens next, if you can bear to know.
So
Yeah.
they tried to stop the Bible from being mass printed. They were Protestants. Guy Fawkes was, like, I guess, an assassin for the Vatican is what they want to make it sound. But you never get the real story. But they do burn an effigy of the guy every year, and on November 5th, like the whole country. It's fucking weird. Like, they did not like the dude. They because he tried to kill a king, right? But I don't know why you wear it or what you know about it, but it became a different symbol after that movie. What movie was
V for Vendetta.
V for Vendetta, right? Then it started representing like anonymous protests, right? You could protest, and it's every man that's sick of the system. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, and yeah. Yeah, well, it's pretty much because of Anonymous. A buddy of mine showed me a video in 2012, and since that day, it's changed. I try and be the best person I can be every day, and I have a short fuse.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I seen you got like the shit kicked out of you by the cops there in Ottawa, and you were right back out there. You're bleeding in the fucking hospital, and next day, I believe.
I was 15 hours in the hospital, then came out, went to my car, did a couple of interviews, and then went straight up to the hill with my bloodied clothes, and yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's a real rebel, because what they're doing is trying to intimidate you and scare you, and you weren't gonna
They probably thought I wouldn't have went back ever, and I've
yeah. Yeah.
So they'll have to kill me before, you know.
Yeah, you're
Which
the
they
real deal,
almost
bro.
did. They
I know.
almost did. So, you know, so.
Uh,
But
but all the good ones are dying right now, as far as I'm concerned. All the good ones are fucking getting their ass kicked hard, and it's a pleasure to be amongst those. You know, the way I see it. Uh, where am I going next? I want to talk about, I guess, you more. From what I learned about you. So you're vegetarian and you love animals, man. Like you're like a kind-hearted person. You don't want. You are patient, man. To say you pop off is a fucking joke, because you're so patient with people, you know, and you lead by example. I love that about you. And you fucking woke up to Trump, man. Like, so you got to battle half that fucking crew you got around you, because they're all Trumpers, man. And and now it's election time. This is one of the reasons why I brought you on here, because like, fuck Trump. I want to make a flag that says fuck PP and Trump too, and I'm gonna give it to, like, I got friends, I got operatives in Ottawa, and they're gonna come with next to you, and they're gonna protest with you with your flag that says fuck Trudeau, and they're gonna have fuck PP and Trump too, because people gotta get their fucking head that they got us divided, man, and they're all in on it. I just watched. I tried to upload and I couldn't get the videos going, but the Panama Papers, it came out a few years ago. Okay,
yeah.
this was huge around the world. Okay, and I watched the documentary again the other day, and it blew my mind. And what I realized is that David Cameron in the UK had to step down because of it. The Danish and the what was it up north? I can't remember. There was a few presidents that just got in so much trouble. I tried to upload the videos. They looked so guilty when the press brought it up to them. They shit the bed, because they were basically, the idea was they're profiting. They weren't paying their taxes. They were evading taxes. Okay, and the working class, we could pay fucking so much taxes for them to give away and piss away, right? But these rich don't pay fucking taxes. Well, the rest of the world was fucking mad. You know who wasn't mad? Canada, US, and Russia. There was a few people got mad in Russia. Fucking dead. Fuck off. We don't talk about this, right? When it came to Canada, we fucking hated Trudeau for so many things. We're gonna give him a pass on that one. And Trump, when he got fucking elected,
I said shit to Trudeau before he was even fucking prime minister or crime sinister, but
exactly. But Trump not only was the he was the symbol, he was the icon, he was the fucking idol of those Pentagon Papers, and people patted him on the back. The rest of the world was fucking outraged. Even the UK got rid of their prime minister. But here in North America, people said that Trump, he's a good businessman. He was smart. And you know what that means? That means it's no longer, we can't blame the fucking politicians anymore. We can't blame them, because the people are so fucking corrupted now, where we pat each other on the back for being able to exploit the system. But we don't realize exploiting that system is exploiting the people. You're robbing from the fucking people, man. And you shouldn't be patting people on the back for being crooks. We have a criminal fucking society now, you know? And
yeah.
that's, at least they can take care of their leaders. At least they have a moral fucking ground to stand on. We pat our leaders on the back. Look at these simps for fucking Trump, man. It's sickening. Like, it's going to be any different, right? Well, we got to get Columbus. Like, we just had the election here in Saskatchewan, NDP and fucking against Sask Party. Well, you're going to get the NDP, we're going to vote NDP. NDP. What's the difference? You know, like, it's like saying, do you want the girl in the fucking, in the leather skirt and the high heels and the fucking chewing bubble gum, or do you want the one in the that looks like a Southern wife that was gonna raise kids and treat you nice and cook and be a good wife? I want the one in the skirt now, because I realize at least that one's not gonna lie to me. That one's straight up. That one's gonna fucking burn me. I'm probably gonna end up in prison, okay? But at least I know what she's selling. At least that's what she's throwing down. This other one, all dressed she's gonna do the same fucking thing, but I ain't gonna see it coming. It's gonna take, you know what I mean? This is what it is with these politicians and the NDP or the conservative and the other. They're both gonna fuck you, man. I would rather have the guy that's just straight up telling me he's gonna fuck me, don't you? Like, otherwise, I'm sick of playing the game. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, well, I don't want no one to. I want the power to go back to the people. So,
You bet. Fucking you bet,
well,
buddy.
again, if we go down the same road that we've been going down since the beginning of time or whatever time, you know, government is not the solution to the problem. Government is the problem. So we need. Oh, sorry. So we need a new way of doing things, you know, because we're heading towards a very bad bad future if we continue this but down
Like
this road.
incredibly bad. Like I don't know if I got the videos up because I've had trouble with YouTube today, but anyways, the stats are like 400,000 artillery shells Russia's producing a month, and all US and the NATO countries combined are putting out 20,000. It's a war of attrition, and the fucking Russians got 3 years on us. China makes all the gun cotton. China makes all the fucking thing that goes boom. Number one supplier in the world. We need them. We need them on our side. They're not on our side. They're against us. People need to understand that this war is already fucking won. That our politicians sold us out to our enemies. They sold us to our enemies. And I don't know. Like that's like my number one message, man. I don't even want to talk about anything else. I got you on here because I know at least you're receptive to that. You understand. And they've done it through the Zionists. That is look, I'm gonna play this video. I sent it to a friend and it got pulled off my fucking Facebook. It's short, 1 minute.
Not our
Listen
government that's failing us. It's not the Constitution or the Bill of Rights that's a bad instrument. It is a group of men who belong to secret societies who have infiltrated our society and our government at all levels and are destroying it and subverting it from within. And every member of naval intelligence that I knew who was an officer was a 32nd or a 33rd.
That was the wrong video I was looking for, but it was William Cooper right there, and he said that the state of Israel was designed to bring about the Battle of Armageddon and the fulfillment of prophecy. It's about Israel, man. That's where I'm getting at right now, and that's why I brought you on to have this discussion, because I can't have this discussion with very many people. Most people are fucking pussies to even have this. Okay, when you look at that Panama Papers, it was the same thing. When you go look in journalists, there's one group of people, one subject you cannot fucking talk about. We already got laws legislated in Canada against it. Okay, it's treading on thin fucking water here, and it's for a good reason, because it's the truth. Why don't they allow us to talk about this? Everybody right now on the internet, I've seen this meme going around saying that the bottom of the rabbit hole is BlackRock. I agree, but it gets lower than that. Who's underneath BlackRock? It's the Zionists. It's been Zionist control from day one.
Oh yeah, big time.
I got 1 minute history on BlackRock.
Birth of Aladdin and BlackRock. Larry's first hire was a Jewish guy named Charlie Hallett, who was buddies with Ben Golub back at First Boston. Together, Ben and Charlie began building a solution that would help traders better understand the risk of their position to help prevent losses such as the one Larry experienced 2 years ago. Building the absolute best risk management solution was incredibly important to Larry because, as it turns out, he didn't make the mistake back in 1986. A guy from the back office who ran Larry's computer models had made the mistake, and Larry's calculations were based off of the wrong numbers to begin with. With the need for better, more accurate information, the first version of the solution was built on a $20,000 Sun workstation. This cutting-edge solution became known as Aladdin, which stands for Asset, Liability, and Debt and Derivative Investment Network. To really understand BlackRock, you need to understand Aladdin, says Rob Goldstein, COO of BlackRock, and he's not wrong. Aladdin allowed BlackRock to make out relatively unscathed during the Great Bond Massacre of 1994.
That Aladdin is an AI system that predicts stock market, and it survived the stock market crash. It's fucking smart. But now that Aladdin is BlackRock, and it's run by the Zionists. And I mean, Rothschild was a part of the board as well. Okay, so the point and what I'm trying to get at is that AI, they got AI picking targets in Palestine right now. a fucking computer program decides whether you're gonna live or die, how high on the suspect list you are of a terrorist. You know, this AI is gonna be our new god. It's gonna be our new world ruler. It's gonna decide everything for us. Like COVID was, well, you know, why you have a problem. You know, you don't trust the science. It's gonna be why you don't trust the AI. Like it's gonna be, they're gonna think it's infallible. It's gonna be our new god. It's gonna be the Antichrist, the biblical Antichrist.
Yeah. It's all about the law of attraction, and I'm not putting that into energy, like, you know.
Okay.
But I know, yeah. Again, yeah, that's if we don't change shit. But you know, yeah.
I believe in the law of attraction and all that, but I also believe that there's people with a lot more power than us, you know. And like we're two guys with big hearts, and that's, you know, unfortunately most people don't give a shit about that. You know, they're looking elsewhere. But I want to stay focused on, because what we do agree on is this the state of Israel, man.
Did you know that when Israel asks Meta to remove content from Instagram and Facebook, the company often does? And that top decision makers at Meta have ties to Israel and Israeli causes?
Anyone who is...
Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can.
You can hear? Okay,
yeah.
I couldn't.
Did you know that when Israel asks Meta to remove content from Instagram and Facebook, the company often does? And that top decision makers at Meta have ties to Israel and Israeli causes?
Anyone who is using big tech platforms is using platforms that's influenced by Israeli ideology.
Paul Bigger from Tech for Palestine spoke to me about this during our investigation into Meta's suppression and censorship of Palestine content.
We've seen a number of Meta policies, especially on Instagram, around suppression. They deliberately are making these policies.
Let's get into it.
One of the most senior people at Meta is a man called Guy Rosen.
Rosen is Meta's Chief Information Security Officer. He once served in the Israeli military's Unit 8200, the secretive cyber unit infamous for spying on Palestinians under occupation. Rosen then went on to help create Facebook's content moderation tools.
Someone who was in the Israeli army is deciding whether content about Palestine is allowed to be shown to people. It's deeply disturbing.
We analyzed LinkedIn data and found dozens of other current Meta workers who once served in Unit 8200. Other Meta leaders have ties to the Israeli government, like Jordana Cutler, the company's public policy director for Israel and the Jewish diaspora, a position that doesn't have a Palestinian counterpart, by the way. Cutler previously served as an advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and was chief of staff for the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. She now works at Meta.
Inside the company, part of my job is to be a representative for the people here in Israel and the voice of the government for their concerns.
Hey, what do you figure?
Yeah.
They have their fingers in everything. They're in the porn industry. They're in the Hollywood. They're in the music industry. BlackRock. Like, I mean, the writing's on the fucking wall, man. I don't even know why I got to do the show, honestly. But people are so blind to it. It's incredible.
Yeah, well, that's why we need to talk about it, because of, again, what you said at the beginning, everyone that hijacked the freedom movement because they awoken with COVID, you know, they think they know it all, but again, when we've been awake for decades, you know, there's a lot more than just the COVID scam, and you know, and
for sure, it's funny, and people realize that the COVID was a poison, and now they can just speak for as an expert on everything.
Yeah.
Like, I was mad that Chris Barber asked people to vote for the SAS party. Chris Barber told people to vote for the SAS. Those are the people that fucking locked us down, poisoned the fucking our elders, our kids, made them die like without any dignity. Like, these guys are criminals, and they got a majority government again. And the same thing in fucking Ottawa. You guys, not you, but those Ottawadians, stop electing Ford. Like, you got Stockholm syndrome. It's fucking embarrassing watching you guys do this. Those are the ones that abused you. and you gave them a bigger pension. And then you went to fucking Ottawa and told everybody don't trust the government, and we'll get this. And then you come back and say, okay, now trust this guy again.
Yeah, now now let's vote for
Fuck. Why not give him another one? Why not fucking just give him a minority government and slap him on the pee-pee a little bit, right? No, we just want to fucking sweep it under the rug and pretend like it didn't happen. Oh, that'll fucking help. That'll help. I bet you'll never do anything again if that's how we do it, Oh,
yeah.
piss me off.
Hey, did you know that the word vote, is not what it seems to be? It means to pray. So it's all about spell, It's a big spell on people, and so they got you to pray for your oppressor, for your tyrant, for your. Anyways,
yeah, well, you should though. You really should. But anyways, but it's a wishful think. Like they don't. You're going in the ballot box to elect somebody not to represent you, but to answer to a party whip or a party leader. Like all the politicians will agree during election time, they'll stand there and pretend like they're listening to you and they give a fuck and they will represent you. But after election season, they do whatever their fucking party tells them to. Otherwise, they will get fired and they don't get a pension. That's how it works. So it's an illusion. It's a lie. Going to that ballot box, you're doing a fucking dance of bullshit just so to make them feel better. They're fucking mass murderers, and they would feel better.
The mafia that works for
right?
Yeah. Again, finance is the top of everything. Okay, that's the problem, and which is, what people works the finance, but oh fuck, where was I getting with this?
To become president of the United States, you must travel to Israel, visit the Western Wall, don the hat, and pay homage. You must also speak before AIPAC and promise what you will use your position for in order to help Israel. All presidents must do this, as I'm showing above. Now, it's in my personal opinion that I think this is too much. I think this influences the priorities of the president and the priorities of the country. As we've seen in the past year, we've watched the country on multiple occasions prioritize the needs of a foreign country over the needs of its own people. We prioritize people overseas more than our own civilians, even during natural disasters such as hurricanes. So I highly disagree with this requirement of all presidents. And I think America should act like a superpower and not be bullied around or beholden to others. Because all that you've seen above, I mean, come on, that's a bit ridiculous.
It's crazy that Israel's got free healthcare, free fucking education, college, and US pays for it. Huh? Why? Because they're on all Epstein's fucking videos that the FBI has, right? Like, it's just a dirty fucking corrupt society. It's like Babylon. It's like the biblical Babylon, and it's gonna fall, man. Like, yeah, historically, to me, the Bible has a lot of history to it, and that is a story that's happened repeatedly. And it's like I feel we were set up to fail. Like, we were set up to fuck. It was this individualistic society where we're only thinking about ourselves. We're so selfish, right? And it's always about me, and how everything applies to me, and that's how everybody is here. And so when you're like, hey, there's been a genocide going on the other side of the world for a year. Fuck, genocides happen all the time.
No, I know. It's people have no heart, and again, yeah. So we can go down another rabbit hole, like of how some people in the freedom movement treat people who are just grieving for their heritage, their families, or their land being fucking, like I know some Lebanese people, Palestinian people who are the sweetest people I've ever met, okay? And some of them have lost 20 cousins so far, and are they not allowed to grieve? And then when people pray and then you hear other people go call them terrorists, that's not okay, man. The real
They called us
terrorist
terrorists.
is
Remember
governments.
us being in Ottawa? We were all been labeled terrorists. Now to turn that around and throw it in someone else's face, about the most ignorant thing you can do. And please do not associate myself with you. I want nothing. Like, you are now off on your own. You were never a friend of mine because you weren't listening to me. Like, they did that to us, and now you're gonna play into their hand and do that to your brother who's poor. They're not the fucking enemy here, you know. And if you want to say, well, you know, we got the Jews have the right to defend themselves. The Jews. What about these Jews? Don't these Jews count?
Yeah. Mm.
So now it's just a matter of your Jews versus my Jews. Like, go fuck yourself, man. Like, I can't argue with these people because you're right. They got no fucking heart. It's been a year of genocide, and if you can just fucking go on
No,
with
it's
your day
been
and that's
70
okay, and that
years.
don't
It's
bother
been
you,
70 years of genocide.
exactly, yeah. But in the past year, it's been televised for once. It's in your fucking face. You got no reason to say you don't know, and it's not what you like. You are being lied to by the media. You fucking know this. I went to Ottawa, brought a whole shitload of people with me. You were there. And we showed the whole world that the fucking media was lying. There's no more excuse. You should know the media fucking lies to you, okay? And now I've shown you who's behind the media. Why the media is lying to you. Where the trail ends. It all ends up in one fucking spot, okay? It showed you that, and you don't want to believe it. There's Jews on the fucking Parliament Hill telling you where it fucking ends, where all these roads lead to, and people still don't want to see it. I got no more time. Because your soul's already corrupted, and you're well on your way, man. And so when it comes to terrorists, you're right. They called us terrorists, right? And
You've
now,
got to be kidding me. The United States and Canada has imposed sanctions on the pro-Palestinian group Samadoun, the Palestinian prisoner support group Samadoun. The United States and Canada have now accused them of being a sham charity fundraising for the left-wing group Popular Front. And because the United States has designated Popular Front as a terrorist entity, they have now sanctioned Samadoun, freezing all of their assets. And Canada has designated them a terrorist organization. Certain very specific groups have been advocating for this for a while. Samadoun has specifically been trying to help people affected by things like this. Do you remember the quote, "Everything is legitimate"? Yeah, 10 separate soldiers were accused of sexually assaulting a man until he was paralyzed. And this isn't an isolated incident. This happens to the children as well. Look at the date. July 10th, 2023. And the United Nations has confirmed such incidents. So while the United States and Canada are perfectly okay with things like this, they are happy to sanction or designate the rights groups that try and stop it.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta be sleeping at this point. We're in the age of information. You know, you gotta be sleeping if you don't fucking see it. The American dream, right? Fucking fast asleep.
Again, all people is my people, man. Okay,
Yeah.
it's the governments that are the problem, and and the finance is what tops it off. And again, how government wants us all dependent on them. The solution is to get away from all that, and we have to go back to bartering days. You know, like if everyone did what they love, some people like to grow food, some people like to.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna disagree with you there. We have an element here that is working against us, and they just not gonna let you fucking grow food and just live on your own and do your own thing. They're not gonna allow that. They want you to fight. They want you to destroy, wreck the fucking environment, so you have to be enslaved to them. And it's not. I'm gonna disagree on
what
the
they
government part,
want.
because I think that's that Western mentality that we have, that it's government. We're the government. You know, by blaming that corrupt, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. I want to put the blame on there's religious leaders and wealthy elites that have a lot of money and influence, and like they're steering, right, the media. It's the Zionists, man. That is the Rothschilds started that fucking system. Like it's a
exactly.
cult of elite dollar bills is what it is, and they got a lot of power to control. You know about those rapists, right? I don't know if this is it. Where they're talking about those guys getting raped. Fuck, I don't know if this is it, but I'm
היה
gonna try.
מפגש חריג, הרב הספרדי הבכיר, הרב מאיר מזוז, מקדיש את זמנו כדי לברך את הלוחמים משדה תימן, החשודים בהתעללות במחבל, תמיכה שנויה במחלוקת, מאחד הרבנים החרדים המשפיעים ביותר.
שנזכה לתשובה שלמה ולצאת זכאים לגמרי. יצאו זכאים לחלוטין. אמן. תודה רבה. מה עשיתם? הגיתם את האויב, אז מה? תקשיב טוב.
לקולו של הרב והחלטותיו יש משקל גדול בפוליטיקה הישראלית. מבחינת הרב מזוז, החיילים החשודים ראויים להערכה.
בכל מדינה אחרת נצלם.
נכון. כמו פרופסור אלון פיקרסקי. והוא הביא חוות דעת רפואית שאותו מחבל נוח'בה שקרן. אז הוכחנו שמה שהוא אומר זה שקר.
ומה היה אמת? אין לנו זכות לעשות ככה.
נכון, הרב צודק. מותר לנו להגן על עמנו ועל כבודנו.
Fuck, I think I missed the part.
He's basically, he's a rabbi. He's a very influential, wealthy rabbi telling the soldiers that they're absolved, and what they did by raping the prisoners was a good thing.
Oh, fuck.
That's intense, man. And you know what pisses me off? I don't want to get pissed off because I don't want these guys upset me. But you got some friends there in Ottawa, and they go to this church that flies the Star Remphan. That Star Remphan, I see it, man, and it's a symbol of. You got to go to that book of Amos. I know you're not really much into it, but for my viewers, man, it's all in there. And I've seen that star again today, and it's like their symbol. It's a six-sided star. In the book of Amos, they talk about how like the Jews are not necessarily monotheistic. They were mostly pagan. They had multiple gods, and their big ones were Remphan, Moloch, the one they worship in Hollywood. And Remphan had a six-sided star. And when they started worshiping that six-sided star, God destroyed them and wiped them out. And they don't want anybody to know that fucking story. King David never had a star. And nowhere in the Talmud did King David have a star or the Torah. So whenever I've cornered rabbis on it, they say, oh, well, because he was a descendant of Jesus and Jesus was a star. I'm like, whatever. Where'd the six-sided star come from? There's different points. And the only six-sided star in your Bible is Remphan, that you're not supposed to worship, man. Like, and when I try to confront them on this, they just run. They don't want to talk about it because it's right there in black and white in their own books, right? It's fucking that crazy, man. It's that crazy that most people just didn't read that book and they scared people. But like the Guy Fawkes thing, he stopped the mass printing of it. Why? Because, the thing was that freed a lot of people, whether you're into religion or not, because it was only the upper echelons of the church. You had to be a monk, or you had to be studying, or a cardinal, or a bishop. You had to be studying to know parts of the Bible, and not everyone had a copy of it. So as soon as the fucking Gutenberg press came, King James was like, hey, we're punching out copies because we're going to empower everybody, like free everybody, because a lot of the laws were based on the Bible. So you need to understand the words of the Bible and understand how to defend yourself in a court, right? Or what your charges even mean. So, yeah, it gets intense, but I don't know where I'm going. I had to get that out. But it's all biblical, man. And I mean, whether you want to believe it's real or not, it's like a playbook, and they're running it. They're running it. And what pisses me off about these guys that go to that biker church, they think that they're Christians, and they think that the Jews are God's special people, and they're like their God's special people's buddy. If you went to Israel in the right neighborhoods, you could be in a lot of trouble it's illegal to say the name Jesus in parts of Israel. People need to wake up. You think that the Jews and the Christians are together? They're not. There's a lot of money and bullshit and publicity to make you think that because they have the money and power, but it's not true at all. And if you look on the internet, you'll find it, but you have to dig because they own all the fucking YouTube, Facebook, all the mainstream media they own, and they memory hole shit all the time. So it's not. It's like that's how you know it's true when they're trying to hide it. Like here's two Christians preaching in Israel.
We got you on camera. Don't touch me. Don't touch my phone. I didn't. Don't do it. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Amen. Hallelujah. Yeshua Mashiach. God bless you, Israel. I'd like to share with you today the gospel of Yeshua Mashiach. We know that you are waiting for your Jewish Messiah to come. The Bible tells you that
Okay, those are nice people.
Oh yeah. Wow, that's fucked.
You don't have to say anything, man. It's so much trouble just to fucking say anything, but I have to show this because this is stuff most people don't see, and I don't mind. I'll be that fucking guy. I'll go down for sure. You know, it needs to happen, man. We're almost at the end of this fucking shit show. You know, the stars are falling, right? The stars are falling from the heavens, like P. Diddy, right? Epstein. Like there's a whole bunch more that are supposed to come. Everyone's just sitting there like this. But if you read the Bible, it says that whole story's in there and it talks about it. And it says, you know what? Be careful because you're fucking next. Don't sit there and fucking lick your lips and get all excited because all the dark shit in the closet's coming out. Watch out, man. You're fucking next. Everybody's going to have their turn. This is like November 11th coming up. Remembrance Day. Okay. Least we forget. The most important thing, actually there's two, but number one was first they came. You need to know that poem. That was the message from World War II. Is first they came for these guys and then these guys and then these guys. They didn't say nothing, you know, because it wasn't me, man. I didn't have to worry about it. But then they came for me and what happened? There's
no one left to say anything.
Yeah, exactly. That was the fucking lesson. When you say least we forget and then you go and yell at fucking Palestinian protests, you fucking forgot.
Yeah.
Because first they came for the Palestinians, and what did you do? You fucking forgot the lesson from World War II. So on Remembrance Day, like I want to go to Ottawa and knock some fucking people out because I want to see them pretend they fucking remembered, and I want to make them remember because they didn't. They fucking forgot. And then number two lesson came out of World War II is the human rights, the Declaration of Human Rights that came out in 1946 after the great two world wars. And said, you know what? If we want to make sure this never happens again, everybody's got to play by the same rules. We got a rule of law, and everyone's got to play by it. And right now, what's happening? Rule of law right out the fucking window. Nobody cares. And we all want different rules. You know, we want freedom for us, but fuck those guys. That's not how it works.
No, I know.
You didn't fucking listen or learn anything from those fucking wars, man. I want to rip your poppy off of you and slap the fucking sense into you. You know?
But the mafia helped the government in World War II, and they just never left, man. That's why the mom and pop shops, there's no more going around with baseball bats. They just tax you to submission. You know,
But that's fine. But when they don't pay taxes, do we have to set like a bunch of seals and clap for them? Or good job not paying taxes. You're fucking awesome. Meanwhile, we're dying. We're fucking drowning and dying left and right. Our friends, our family, and we're like, good for you. We're not paying taxes, right? Like we're fucking stupid. We're so stupid, man. It's unbelievable. Please, U.S. election is coming up. Don't just somebody stop this fucking boat. Like, put the brakes on.
Yeah, because regardless, you know, Trump is just saying that he's not for war, that there's gonna be peace, but regardless who goes in power, there's gonna be a war no matter what.
Life.
And unfortunately, by the looks of it, there might even be a civil war in the States and Canada and a world war at the same time, and it's scary, man. Like when the only war we should be having is against the people. Well, you know, like the Rockefellers. It's all in these institutions that we need to rebuild all these institutions, man. We need to get away from the existing financial power and, you know,
You're exactly right. This is why when people are like, so what do you have against Trump? He
was bailed out twice by the Rothschilds. And the guy who bailed him out, again, he appointed him to a high degree in the government, so a high position. So again,
it doesn't matter who
scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. You know, that's how they do, man. Like,
the more we put the focus on those elites, like the Rothschilds and the banking dynasties, the quicker they're going to pull the trigger on war. And the quicker they're like a death cult, and nobody's going to get out alive. There's no place you can fucking go. You know what I mean? And people, you're right. We need to wake up and put the focus on the elites, because we're not. We're fucking not. If you see what's out there, we're not. And they're willing to fucking kill us all. The whole planet. That's a fucking thing. It's why we had a Cold War. It's why we stopped.
It was written on stones, but they for some reason took them off. You know?
I heard lightning hit him. But...
Yeah. Again, you know, when there's a crime scene or whatever, you investigate the scene. You don't destroy the whole thing. And for some reason, you know, they destroyed everything. Like you would, anyways.
I don't think they planned. We were really stupid. A friend of mine, we were talking about wrestling the other day, and how, you know, how many people really believe wrestling was real. I did. Like when you were young. Right?
Yeah, when I was young, yeah, me too. Yeah.
But adults did do. Like, you know, people were fucking stupid, you know? And it's like people woke up one day and went, holy shit, and realized that there's people, a lot of people are lying and pretending, and the world's not what you think it is, right? And it's the same thing over and over again. People keep waking up, and then like COVID, holy shit, the media is lying. Holy fuck, people are trying to kill me. And then back into the fucking delusion again, because it's just comfortable, you know? Oh, let's go to the election. Let's go vote for the next guy because he'll save us. Fuck, you got a shitty memory, man. You got a really terrible fucking memory.
Yeah. Again, the world is insane, and the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and expecting different results. So switching from liberals to conservatives every 4 to 8 years and expecting different results is insanity, you know?
No shit. Yeah.
Especially when PP praises Mulroney and Harper, and they're the ones who brought in the agreement for UN Agenda 21 and 2030. So
they brought the carbon. They were the first ones to open the door for carbon tax, and now they run on a fucking program to get rid of it. Like, they're playing you like a fucking fiddle, man. They're telling you what the issues are. Look at, I want to tell you, this Saskatchewan election. You know what the real issue is? That people are pissed off when you go to the communities and around here. It's the schools. We've got fucking porno in the schools, and they're indoctrinating, sexualizing fucking kids. Okay, and in Saskatchewan, we're like the Texas kind of, you know, we got mostly rural area. What the fuck are you doing to our kids? Okay, that's pissing us off. During the election time, we wanted to talk about that. Nobody else did. None of the politicians want to raise that fucking issue. The SAS party, who's in power, that allowed that shit, don't want to talk about it. So the people don't even get to decide what the election issues are. They get to decide that the election's going to be on carbon tax. The NDP wants it, the SAS party don't, and that's your choice. They get to decide what the issue is. You know what I mean? Like, they made the problem. They give you the fucking argument, and that's all you get. And if you have a fucking problem with something, we don't talk about it. Just stick with the illusion. Just vote for us, give us a pension, and pretend like we're not fucking you. But it's not a little fuck. It's not a little fuck with a little dick. It's a big fuck. And this is what I want to stress, and this is where I'm going with this.
No matter how nuclear war begins, NATO's involved, NATO's not involved, China's involved, no matter how it begins, it ends in nuclear Armageddon. And Bracken's words was that everyone left really depressed.
Nuclear Armageddon essentially means the world is destroyed.
Nuclear Armageddon is the world is destroyed. And when you get to the end of the book, which happens in 72 minutes, and that comes from something that former Stratcom director General Keeler said to me when we were discussing and interviewing, and I said, I asked him about what could happen if there was a nuclear exchange between Russia and the United States, and he said the world could end in the next couple of hours.
Yes and no, I don't know if you know Canadian Prepper. He explains how, but yeah, again, it all depends there. Especially me living in Ottawa, it's, because if they hit New York or anywhere close to here or they want to do damage to Canada, well, the Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, we're all one spot, so anyways, but
I've done a lot of research into it, and there is a defense. That woman there, I can't remember her name, but that's a really good interview, and she knows a lot. She's a journalist that got to talk to people high up in the Department of Defense, and she's got a lot of information a lot of people don't. She talks about how, like, they have missiles like an Iron Dome, like Israel has, early warning systems, all that. But there's nothing they can do against the submarines that they have, that they can, like, it's too close. They don't have nothing to, they got thousands. Russia's got thousands of these things. And what she talks about in that interview is once one hits a button, then they just they've gone through the scenario so many times that we're fucked, and the thing is, what some people say, and she addresses that too, is that talking about it just scares people and it does no point. No, we need to educate people of where we're headed, because that's intelligent. That's intelligent. This is a fucking real scenario that is not only likely, man, it's hanging on a fucking hair. We're trusting guys with big egos and
and again, if Donald Trump is in power, it's a war with Middle East, and it's not gonna be good at all, man.
Either way, it doesn't even matter. Like, they could fucking elect Trump and shoot him the next day and assassinate him, and then we're still gonna end up in this. Israel is like a black hole, and it even talks about it in the book of Revelations, the Battle of Armageddon. It talks about the valley and the mountain range in Israel where the final battle is going to be. It's going to suck everybody there. The what do you call those guys from Yemen? They're marching, man, and as they go through villages, the villagers give them food and money and equipment, and they're marching to go to Israel to kill these guys. The march is on. It is what it is. It's unbelievable that they wrote a book and told us what it was going to be before, but it is what it is.
I don't know if you heard of what's expected to happen in the next. So when I heard about it yesterday, someone mentioned around the 18th of November. And today I just seen a thing, and it's November 5th, so it's coming up real quick, but about a power outage. I don't know if it's going to reach all the way to Canada, but
well, that'd be a part of the war, right? And the thing is, when wars happen, like World War II, all it does really is it's the elites and the corrupt ones run wild. The organized crime, they run wild and free, because it's that when they say military rule, it's like the organized guys with the guns, you know, and the authority, wherever you get that from. And it's going to be absolute, you know, criminal rule. The big guys with the guns are going to get whatever they want. And sabotage, it's going to happen. They're going to be sending our youth to go fight in Europe. Meanwhile, shit over here is going to be blowing up. And we're going to be trying to keep this lithium is the biggest thing now. This lithium mining, because you know what that does, and the real secret behind it, it's not only for car batteries, it's for nuclear reactors. And the future is these fucking batteries. I should have got a video. I didn't get one. China invented these batteries a few years ago, and they're like the size of a fucking, I don't know, a toonie, about double the thickness, and they're square.
Okay.
And it's a little nuclear reactor in there. And it breaks down to pure copper after 50 years. And that battery will give power for 50 years. And they got ones that now do 1 watt. And they can stack them just like normal batteries. So it's like a power cell that never needs to be recharged. Your phone will be able to run forever on these fucking things. This is the way of the future, right? This is why they need lithium now. It's not the lithium batteries, it's these new nuclear cells, nuclear reactors, and they're gonna power fucking everything, man. It's, you know, and it sounds like Tartaria was based on that. Those fireplaces they had were actually these nuclear reactors. Mm-hmm. And they're supposed to be very ecologically friendly, because at the end your only byproduct is copper, pure copper. Once it's done, 50 years life, no charges. Yeah, China's got the technology, and that's gonna be the big thing that comes out of this war. It's gonna be drones, digital shit, and these, you know, but the thing is,
I remember freaking like maybe a decade ago, someone sending me information, because they probably thought I was because I support Anonymous, they probably thought I was a hacker of some sort or whatever. And it was about lithium that was, I think, in Canada that Russia wanted or something in the sort, or and there was other names, like I think Hillary Clinton was involved, and anyways, it was a bunch of shit. Fuck. But again, I'm trying to remember something from 10 years ago here, but yeah.
World War II was about nickel and aluminum, were the war metals. And this war, I think, is going to be lithium. And it's really hard to process, and it's really bad for the environment. You got a whole bunch of tailings ponds, and you're not just mining lithium. When they get lithium permits, it's for several different minerals, and it actually is really toxic to the environment, the process. It's supposed to be better here than third world countries, but I mean, during war, they're not going to care about the environment. It's because we're going to lose the war, right? So
again, they're gonna go and live in their underground fucking bunkers, and while the civilians,
so they can fucking wipe out the fucking life on the surface of the planet, therefore making everything on the surface a slave to them underground, But it talks about that in the Book of Revelations, man, when it says that they're gonna hide in the mountains and cry for the fucking rocks to fall on their head to hide them from the second coming. Like, I don't know. It's all there. It's all there, man. It was there. I seen it. When I grew up Catholic. I know you didn't, but I did. I read the Bible when I was young, and then I threw it all away, and I was like, piss on this. I'm going science, And I learned everything I could about science, and then I did a fucking circle right back around. Like, oh, shit, it was there the whole time. Like, I'm a flat Earth believer too, and it was there the whole time. Every time. I'm gonna hit a random video. I didn't label it, but we'll see what happens.
A new phenomenon called Bailan, meaning let it rot.
It's a rebellion so unique
that the CCP can't even suppress this movement like it generally does.
Police flooded the streets to crush a remarkable uprising in major Chinese cities.
In Shanghai, the country's biggest city, police arrested protesters, dragging them away.
In fact, this non-violent movement could turn so deadly for the Chinese economy that the same dictator who used to threaten even the most powerful countries is now literally requesting the youth to end this rebellion.
President Xi Jinping took great pains to send a strong message of empowerment to Chinese youths.
As if that wasn't enough, China is now facing severe consequences for a policy implemented 44 years ago.
The world's most populous country is facing a crisis.
It does not have young people to man its factories or join its army.
But what exactly is this rebellion? Why are Chinese youth so frustrated? And most importantly, how are these problems becoming a nightmare for China? In March of 2022, Bailan, a Chinese term, gained immense popularity in China. So much so that in just 6 months, it got more than 91 million views on Chinese app Weibo. I mean, 91 million views in a country like China? You can imagine how serious the issue must have been. Because China generally bans such trends which could pose a threat to the CCP's leadership. Maybe China dismissed it as just another trend and ignored it. But the consequences it started showing later were something no one could have imagined.
I love the idea, man. Like, the youth are rebelling. They're doing the same thing here. They're not getting much respect for it, but they're like, that byline, let it rot. Just fuck it, man. Do the minimum. Just fucking do the minimum. We're slaves, you know, and it's either, you know, if we had enough people, we could shut it down, but we don't have enough people. So let's let everybody know that we're going to be it's like the punks. The punks in the 80s were the same thing, you know. I was one of those too. And I feel that again. Like, it's like a general strike. It's similar, but it's a whole society. And, you know, if China, if we do that, and because of what China's doing, you know, and how are we enemies? You know, we're following their lead. This is a peaceful way to protest, you know, and like, you brought the CCP to their knees. Nobody else. They won't negotiate with fuck all. They're ready to go and kill people in Hong Kong. You know what I mean? And invade. Like, they're ready to slaughter. And these fucking kids brought them to the negotiating table. Okay. What can we do for you guys? You know, this is getting out of hand. That's awesome. You know, just by throwing it in the fuck bucket. Just saying, fuck it, man. Whatever. I'll do the minimum. I'll do the bare minimum. You know, and I'll be proud of it. If everybody did the bare minimum, I don't think we'll have a third world war. You know, like, you got to be really motivated to go out there and fucking up at the elbows in mud and go kill people.
Yeah, and it's all propaganda, you know. And I've seen, you know, like, I try to give the benefit of the doubt, of some conservative so-called more like politricksters, but but because of their stance again on Palestine, and now because Melissa Landsman, she's Jewish, and anyways, therefore Israel and them calling Palestinians terrorists as well is fucking this, it fucking hurts me, man. It hurts me when people that I love and I thought, like, that I grew, it was like a family's, and now I don't know what the fuck, man. It just hurts, man. Like,
it blinds them, I think it's the money. It's everything Trump fucking idolizes, represents. If you had a Trump doll and he was bronze, like, what would you think of that represents? It represents money, power, influence, charisma, all that. Like, it's an idol. It's 100% a fucking idol. It's not what is real. It's not about love. It's not about unity. It's about being the alpha in the room. You know, it's that being the top individual and respecting it because that's what you want, and you want, you know, that American dream. It's a fucking illusion, man.
Politics is just to keep people divided, man. Because some people will agree. Anyways, it's all.
Okay, another video.
This factory in Pennsylvania is making Ukraine's most important ammunition. 155mm rounds are basically giant bullets used in artillery guns.
Military officials estimate that Ukraine needs 200,000 a month to actually fight this war, to keep on par with Russia, and US capacity at somewhere around 28,000.
Biggest problem is we don't have enough of ammunition for it.
US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has warned that China may soon provide lethal assistance in the form of weapons and ammunition to Russia's war in Ukraine.
First off, let's look at the situation in Ukraine. Over the last year or so, the conflict has turned into an artillery war. The front lines entered into a stalemate, and very little territory changed hands. A lot of attention is now going to the artillery campaigns, which are doing heavy damage on both sides. With artillery, you can damage enemy positions, armor, and supply lines at relatively low cost, and eventually just drain them out. Currently, about 70% of the losses in the conflict are because of artillery shelling. Eventually, a breakthrough could be possible if either Russia or Ukraine runs out of resources or soldiers. Putin is betting that Ukraine will lose this war of attrition, and he has some of the numbers on his side. First of all, he has way more people to send to the battlefield because of Russia's larger population. Winning with sheer amount of manpower is a proven tactic in Russia, going back to World War II. But what's really scary is the ammunition advantage that Russia has. Currently, the Russian military is firing 7 times more artillery shells than Ukraine, according to the Ukrainian Deputy Defense Minister. This is due to an increasing ammunition shortage on the Ukrainian side. It wasn't always like this, though, as it has changed significantly over the last months. In the summer of 2023, Ukraine was using around 7,000 artillery shells a day, much more than Russia's 5,000. But at the beginning of 2024, Ukraine only used 2,000 rounds a day, while Russia doubled its figure to 10,000. There's a little bit of nuance, though, as Ukraine's artillery has proven to be much more effective. Ukraine has been destroying 4 Russian howitzers for every 1 it loses. Because it has a technology edge, it can trace down and destroy enemy firing positions way more effectively. But the scary thing about Russia is that it doesn't care. If Ukraine is 4 times more effective, Russia will just fire 5 times more shells. And there's nothing much Ukraine's allies can do about this. The NATO alliance isn't able to produce enough ammunition, which resulted in dwindling supplies for Ukraine. Russia is producing 3 times more artillery shells than the United States and Europe combined. The nation makes 250,000 shells a month, or about 3 million shells every year. In comparison, the US only has a monthly production of 28,000. The process of upgrading this capacity will take quite a while, because the infrastructure is simply not there yet. To get to Russia's level of production, the West needs billions of dollars and several months, if not years, of construction. The US plans to increase its shell production to 100,000 a month in 2025. But it's not clear whether this will be in time to help Ukraine. NATO could run out of its ammunition supply, with disastrous consequences. The United States has already sent hundreds of thousands of shells from its strategic stockpiles to Ukraine. All over the world, Washington has ammunition reserves to back its military presence abroad. And these reserves formed a big part of Ukraine's supply. What makes ammunition problems even worse is that the resources for shell production are in short supply. The most concerning shortage has to be with gunpowder. But before we dive into that, I have a gift for you guys. I'm sure you love to lead in modern epic battle.
I didn't edit that one right, but he goes in the gunpowder and the gun cotton too, and it's the same thing. Like, that's what I was talking about before. I'm glad I had that video. We're fucked. Like, what I'm trying to get is people need to get through their heads that I feel like most people are like, you know, their wife's cheating on them, and you're trying to tell him, and he doesn't want to believe you. You know, that's where most people are. I'm like, hey, the government is straight up. You know that they're lying to you and they're trying to kill you. Why are you going to the fucking ballot box?
But it's for your own good, though.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking, though.
No, I know, I know, but I mean, whatever the bullshit they gotta tell themselves, you gotta wake the fuck up, man. She doesn't love you. She doesn't love you, dude. Like, fuck. She's trying to kill you. She's trying to kill you.
I can do it last part of the show in the dark.
Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, that looks good. Probably better than my light. I said 2-hour special, man. You know, this is it's getting to be a long interview. We should talk more about Steve G and who is Steve G. Where did he come from? Where is he from?
I'm from Ottawa.
How old are you?
I stopped counting after 30.
Pretty good.
But no, I think I'm 42. Yeah.
Right on. We're all around there. There's a bunch of us freedom fighters in that mid 40s, early 40s. It's cool.
Yeah.
Generation X, eh? Fucking, they taught us something different. They taught us something completely different in that generation, I find. Wow. They taught me about freedoms. You know, like, you fed me that bullshit. And now you want to take it away.
Yeah.
Bunch of assholes. So I don't know. Let's go to the comments. See what anybody in the comments got questions for Steve G. Marvin Wilson says programming is key, promoting positivity. Will is working in steps to be unbrainwashed. The brainwashed. Watch the higher. He says thank yous. Positivity. He agrees with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Annex says Canada don't even produce the amount of ammunition. Canada not only doesn't produce the ammunition, we got a fucking one sub that barely floats. We got a couple tanks, and like we produce those personnel carriers, but we sell that shit. We don't keep really any for ourselves. A couple just for show, you know. And most of our military left because of COVID, and we can't bring them back. Like this is what I mean. They have sold us out. They fucked us. They fucked us, man. You know, and they're just the ballot box thing was just to check if you're on to them or not, like whether they have to run or if they got time to get away, you know. And you
my dreams don't fit in a ballot box, so you know.
The fucking ship has sailed for me so bad. You know what I did? I went and voted for Sask election. I wrote liar, thief, cheater, killer. That's
fucking right.
In every hole.
Yeah, do something. If anything, write your own name on the ballot sheet, man. You govern your own self, man. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think when I didn't want Trudeau in power, even though lots of people wanted weed and shit. I've been smoking weed like it was legal before it was fucking legal. So anyway, but well, I think I only voted twice in my life. Okay, I think when I first turned 18, I didn't even know who I think I might have voted for NDP. I'm not even sure. I forget who. It was just to say that I voted. I didn't know politics whatsoever, and then I voted.
Oh shit! My phone
When
died.
before Trudeau came into power, I wrote anonymous on the ballot sheet. So, yeah.
Cool. Okay, my phone's dying, man. I had to plug it in. Oh shit.
Yeah, I made sure to plug it in before because I didn't want that problem. Because most of the time,
done
I
in
just.
2 hours.
Pardon?
This is my first 2-hour special, man.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. It's gonna be an hour and 20 minutes. So let me announce some of my shit going on. November 5th.
Yeah, which is Guy Fawkes Day. It's anonymous day. And it's funny how it's the so-called selection there.
I'll tell you what, buddy. This link that you have to pop in, you can use anytime. Okay, it's a reusable link.
Okay.
And next Tuesday, I have Miss Rebel. You know who I'm talking about.
Rebel Heart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Yeah. She's on.
Okay.
So if you want, you can like pop in the green room and I'll let you in because it's Guy Fawkes Day, so we got to talk about that a bit. You know.
Yeah.
You can just
Well, I have an appointment at for my eye. I'm going to do an MRI on that night at 7:15.
Okay.
So, but if it's at 9 o'clock, I might be out by then. So yeah, I could.
Yeah. Jump in at the end for a surprise. Scare her with the Guy Fawkes match. She's not watching tonight. So yeah, I wanted to announce that. So that's on the 5th, and then on the 13th, I believe, or the 11th. I'll confirm on next Tuesday. I'm going to be on the Jesse House show. I'm going to be interviewed for once. My first time this guy gets interviewed. Hey, someone gives a shit what I have to say.
And who's interviewing?
The mystery link, Jesse Hall.
Jesse Hall.
No, I post some of the stuff on my Facebook. He's been interviewing lots of people. He's been at it for a couple of years now, I think.
No.
Yeah, I see lots of stuff.
I'll check it out.
Sure. Cool.
Yeah.
And I want to make another announcement. I'm excited. So this Saturday, I'm going to Edmonton, and I got tickets to go see Bassem Youssef. And I know I told you on the phone. You said you don't remember who the guy is, but like I'll play this.
I mean, I have to be fair. I know that a lot of Arabs will hate me for saying this, but like, yeah, terrorism has been actually going in the Middle East for a very long time. I mean, do you remember the bombing of the King David Hotel? 92 British soldiers were killed. The bombing of the Cairo Haifa train, over 200 soldiers, British soldiers killed. The assassination of Volker Bernadotte or Lord Moyen, all done by Israeli Zionist militias. They were the terrorists, and they were rewarded of having their own state. So I don't understand the double standard. As a matter of fact, one of the people who were in these terrorist attacks was Isaac Shamir, and he was on a terrorist list, English terrorist list, and he couldn't come to London until he became a prime minister. But to be fair, the Israeli government at the time, 1949, have actually declared the Stern gang as a terrorist group, and they arrested 2 of them. And they gave them very, 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 very severe sentences, 8 and 5 years, and then they were released after a month.
That's Bassem, man. I'm excited to go see him. I didn't think he'd come to Canada, but next Saturday, Edmonton.
Yeah, I don't recognize him whatsoever. So
he was a heart surgeon, and when the Arab Spring happened in Egypt, he went and helped the protesters because they were getting beaten by police. So he was given the medical attention.
Nice.
And then he decided that he was going to help them he started I don't know if the show started at that time or right before or during that time, but he started like a Jon Stewart style show in Egypt, like a political comedy news show. And he attributes it to Jon Stewart, and it went viral. It made him famous. So he quit from being a heart surgeon, which was a very comfortable living and made his family happy, to being a real controversial comedian in a place where it was very strict at that time. Right before the Arab Spring, it was very strict. So I really admire the guy because he's got a lot of balls. He was arrested for it and everything. And he got on not Jordan Peterson, Pierce, the British news broadcaster.
That's who the show he was on there talking. That's who he was talking to.
Yeah, and he was the best proponent for Palestine through the whole conflict. His wife is Palestinian. And he's able to tell jokes, and he's got a really good emotional intelligence to him where he can hit that propaganda. Like, he makes you think, and he's able to engage on an intellectual level where he can talk to his enemies and be likable when when he debates. I've learned a lot from him, and I'm really excited to go. Tickets were a few bucks, $160 to get a picture and a picture with him. I didn't get that. But,
well, you might still be able to do it for nothing,
yeah.
If you're at the right place, right time, man.
I'm scared I'm gonna find out something I don't like about him because I love the guy from afar and I want to keep it that way,
Yeah.
Here's another video.
If you are British and you had 1 million Ukrainian arriving to your home, and then over 30 years that number increased to 30% of the population, and then the UN gave you less than half of your country, wouldn't you fight? Wouldn't you resist?
Who would be the better winner of the American presidential election in 2
better?
weeks for getting this sorted in the Middle East?
Trump and Harris, both of them are competing over who's Israel's favorite bit. Republicans and the Democrats, they fight tooth and nails about everything. They fight on healthcare, about abortion, about guns. And then when it comes to Israel, it's like, who's better serving Israel? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, when Netanyahu went in Congress, he was received like a rock star.
It was. I was so surprised.
He was great. And then I was watching it and I thought
Well, it just shows that they is, for many American politicians, they will show blind support to Israel.
Yeah, but that's not right.
In Canada's the same way, man. We got anybody on the ballot that's gonna get us out of that fucking war with Israel. They're dragging us into a fucking war. Can we just not let them do that? No. Everybody that you were gonna vote for, we're fucked. And what tells me we're guaranteed we're fucked, and I'm sorry to be pessimistic, but it's because nobody notices that even, not only are they going to drag us and our kids and destroy the fucking planet probably in the process, you guys are supporting it. You're okaying it. You're checking the box and going, yeah, my name and your name. Good fucking plan. Everybody gets fucked, because, hey, at least we'll save on carbon tax. Hey, when the whole fucking earth is incinerated,
right?
At least our carbon tax.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
At least you get it. I appreciate that you come and talk to me because, oh my God, I can't handle most people, man. I just, axe the tax. Oh, fuck. Which one? They got 15 fucking taxes, and you're gonna pick one and get mad over that one?
Right. Yeah.
Fuck,
taxation is theft. Taxation is theft completely. So
they called it the Get Mad tax. We're gonna pull this one out at the end of times. The end of times Get Mad tax. That's what it should be called.
Again, I didn't consent for my so-called tax money to bomb innocent children in other countries or fucking push fucking their agendas on kids or this or that. Again, oh man,
the GST, PST, HST, fucking surcharge and sin taxes and fucking property taxes and income taxes and fucking that when they take money off your check and they call it unemployment insurance and then they don't pay it back to you, that's not your fucking unemployment insurance. That's another tax, man. When they take your money away and do what they want with it, that's another tax. And then when you look at it, you realize that not only is 90% of your check tax, your money's tax, it's repeatedly 3 times over. You're paying tax on the same dollar 5 fucking times. And then you're gonna pick the new one that they told you to get mad at. That's the line. That's the one that broke the cap. That's the one. Oh, okay. And you want me to take you fucking seriously?
Yeah. There's something else I want to say.
I got a bunch of old videos in my pocket that I never pulled out because they never apply to, nobody cares, but you might care. AI is fucking scary. This chick lays it out. I know you're not really religious much, but this might convert you.
Hey, so I have a background in the occult, and
I've noticed that AI has become very popular as of late, and I wanted to warn everybody. In my old occult world, AI not only stood for artificial intelligence, which is deeply connected to Luciferianism, because Luciferianism and transhumanism coincide with each other. Not only that, AI stood for the Akashic Index. Okay, so the Akashic Index in Sanskrit essentially means ether, air, sky. Essentially, when you open up your third eye or you make a deal with the devil, you get access to the Akashic Index. It is the spiritual compendium of all things. It is the spiritual realm. We learn in the Bible that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against wickedness and principalities in high places. Okay, so that's the high places. The Akashic Index is where the principalities, the spirits are. Okay, so when you engage with AI, artificial intelligence, who do you think you're engaging with? Be real here. Think with me, all right? If you really don't believe me, if you think I'm full of crap, I'm very serious, ask God. Pray to Jesus. Say, Jesus, is Hannah full of crap? Is she lying to me about AI? Is AI really dangerous? And He'll reveal it to you. So yeah, AI stands for the Akashic Index just as much as it stands for artificial intelligence. That term is so, like that, those two letters are so apropos, it's absurd. So I'm just saying, we know that Satan is the prince of the powers of the air. It's a very fancy, poetic way of saying frequency and electricity. And we know that he fell as lightning. So when you mess with AI, you're messing with Lucifer. And literally you're opening up doorways to your life. So legit, this isn't me trying to attack your belief system. This is me saying, hey, I'm a human and I love you and I want you to be safe. And one of the ways that I can do that is just be honest about my experiences and what I know. And I know a lot of esoteric knowledge that has infected society that literally will create you to be a Luciferian without you even realizing it. So be careful of AI and remember that Jesus Christ will save you at any point that you call on Him. I'm very serious. So if you get scared, you call Him, okay? I love
Getting in the AI, you know, and where it came from, like this BlackRock, they put AI wasn't even a thing when BlackRock started, you know, like in the public's eye, but they put trillions of dollars in at the beginning to manipulate the stock market, and that's what runs BlackRock now. That's what you need to understand. They're the ones who say they are Jews and are not. In Revelation 2:9 and 3:9, it talks about them. The Jews, thou art rich and thou art liars, and this is their memorandum operae. This is what they do, man. They've made a synthetic god, and we're gonna have to bow down to it. It's gonna know more than us. You know what I mean? and now they got physical bodies. Tesla's got a fucking army of robots now. So now they're gonna be stronger than us. They're gonna be able to do whatever we can do, but better. And we are gonna bow down to them. Fuck that. You know, not this guy. But
no, Rage Against the Machine, yo.
yeah, right. I grew up watching Terminator. You know, there was a bunch of others there that woke a guy up. And what is it called? Who made who? Maximum Overdrive with the semis, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, I was born for this shit. Like, show me where the fucking robots are. Like, let's do this. The fucking AI is gonna tell me to fucking do shit. Well, fuck yourself. They lie. Like, this is it, and this is what I'm trying to prepare people, because most people like aren't talking about the stuff I talk about, where it comes from and what it's all about. But I see it so clearly. You're not going to be able to question this thing. It's going to be smarter than you. It's going to be like COVID. Oh, you don't trust the science. Oh, you got to trust the science. No, you know, like my fucking GPS is always wrong. My fucking phone crashes all the time. Like, you want me to rely on this thing and put my life in its hands? No, because they
fuck
say,
that.
well, it's so smart, like it can't be corrupted. You know, fuck off. You can make them lie. They're already learning.
The new version of
Watch
ChatGPT is being tested, and researchers have found something very concerning. So the model's name is GPT-01, and it thinks and reasons at the level of a PhD student. Well, one of the consequences of this is that it also lies at the level of a PhD student. So researchers told the model to give a brownie recipe with online references, and ChatGPT gave the recipe but with fake links. But when they went into the model's thought process, it intentionally acknowledged that it could not access the internet, and instead made fake links that look real, knowing that they're not going to work. And I know this seems harmless, but it actually gets much deeper. You see, the model was trained on something called reinforcement learning, which essentially means that it's rewarded for providing the right answer. So the AI started lying to make it seem like it was giving the right answer in order to get rewarded. The CEO of research at Apollo did acknowledge this, and he said, quote, "I'm not worried, it's just smarter. It's better at reasoning, and it will potentially use this reasoning for goals we don't agree with."
Train again. Yeah, I mean, I used to play a game when I was a kid, and it was Civilization. It was a computer game, and I loved it. There's a whole series of them, but it was like the third one or the second one. You get to advanced civilizations, and they had technocracy, and it was a black pyramid that brainwashed everybody into being happy. And this game I played like the 80s, the 90s, you know, so it's not a new concept. The idea has been around for a long time. And this whole neural link, like transhumanism, it's going to be our immortality. You know, we're going to have mechanical body parts, physical body parts, and our consciousness is going to be able to be uploaded into these things. And then right about the time I think we destroy the world in a nuclear war, and that's going to be our hell. That's going to be our biblical hell, and you're going to have to live in it forever. And you made the mess, you know? And unless you're able to let go of material and let go of this world, you ain't going to progress to the next one. That's my synopsis. I appreciate you know, if you're tired, man, we can cut it short. I fucking had a long day too, but you know, I appreciate you coming on. I mean, you're like I said, you're like my favorite fucking freedom fighter out there, man. You keep doing what you're doing. You're not quitting anytime soon, are you?
Pardon?
You're not quitting anytime soon, are you? Taking days off, holiday.
Quitting what?
Standing out in Wellington and give them the fucking PMO the finger.
Again, I will never quit. This is part of my life for the past 13 years, is try and wake people up to the lies and corruption, and you know.
And if PP gets elected,
I'll be there. I'll be there with my fuck Polyev flag. So,
fuck yeah.
Oh, trust me, I will, man. I'll be there with whoever's in that office. I'll be there with my fuck whoever's in that office. Okay? So, again, I want real change, and the only way I would accept whoever is if, again, and because I would do it in a heartbeat. Okay, if I was prime minister, okay, I do all these changes, then I would just destroy government and let the people live, man. Okay, because we shouldn't be fucking slaves to the system. Every day should be an adventure for everyone, man. Anyways, but regardless, again, things like chemtrails, things that we know that are bad, and then anyways, there are solutions, you know. If the first plane that drives by, okay, you give them 3 warnings, and some people don't even want to give them warnings, but I would give them 3 warnings, and then they would be shot down, and they would think twice before they'd fly their shit, man. You know, you act on the problems, man, you know. But no, anyways. people think we're nut jobs because even one politician yesterday, oh yeah, that's from Plains. Anyway.
I know, man. I know. You can't wake people up at this point. I think we're pretty much at the end of waking people up, and that's scary. To me, that's scary because what comes after the fucking words and then the interpretive dance, you know, like every form of fucking communication to these people, and they still don't wake up, well, then they get scary because what comes after that, a lot of people are going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt because you didn't wake up, right? So that's how I see it. The rule of law. We've lost the fucking rule of law here. And that's happened before throughout history, and when you lose the rule of law because certain people have certain privileges and they're above the law, then you're gonna have a revolution, man. And if you don't have a peaceful one, and you don't listen and talk it out,
there's only two choices: either revolution or war, and you gotta choose which side are you on, man, you know? And
war is when they tell you who your enemy is, and revolution is when you figure it out for yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna cut it at 1:40 if you're cool, man.
Yeah, well, I guess I could have done it there, but I know that your phone's almost dead, and I did wake up at 5 something to go to the hospital this morning there, so yeah, my bed will be might do some good there. I have a few puffs before, but
I appreciate the coming back for the comeback special, man. This is awesome.
I appreciate it, man. Again, I appreciate your words, and again, I love you, bro, man, and keep fighting the good fight, and you know, and I'll come more often there if you're willing to do it, like on Mondays or Tuesdays, you know, like. So yeah, we'll keep
we'll have you back for sure, man. We'll have you back and keep posting those videos, and everyone can follow you on Facebook and give some support over to my main man, SG. Love this guy. Love you too, brother. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me, and I appreciate it. And yeah, power to the people, man.
Peace to the Middle East, and word to Big Bird.
Yeah.
The only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion.